Hello, I'm happy to welcome you to our ridiculous first speech game presentation. Yes, it's about alien space cats, but let me tell you a story of how we've sparked with this concept. A long time ago, in the galaxy far, far away, there lived a creative artist girl. Her name was Alba, for example. And she just brings with wholesome ideas, but never had a chance to realize them in the really cool game. But once she met like-minded talented people and she ignited their hearts with her concept. The Big Bang happened and the greatest team appeared. So let me introduce our members. Here lands Björn on a satellite. He is in charge of game art. Alba comes from Pluto and tries herself in design. Patrick lives in Milky Way and does programming and sound. And me, Mariia, I'm a Martian that works on art and management this time. Everything regarding our concept must seem meaningless and confusing right now. That's why the person who created this baby will explain the best the core idea and what role experimenting and metamorphosis play in it.
Hey, it's Alba time. This year I'm trying myself as a designer and I even get to art direct my teammates. It is really awesome to see everyone so stoked about this idea. And these are the key artworks I gave my team. From my idea, the glowing floating cats are definitely the centerpiece. They set the whole tone for the project. And the way I think about it is that everything has something kind of odd about it, which makes it magical. So, our game is a first person game without player body, and you move in a three-dimensional environment where you mix ingredients to acquire customization items for all the space cat that fit your cafe. So there's a lot of cute cats that you can customize with special wings, antlers, different moods, and all sorts of stuff. You have to mix two ingredients together to get a special food item that lets your cat metamorphosize into a new alien form, or it gets a more common fur pattern change. Because there are special, common, and rare seeds, and special seeds generate significant changes on your cat, while common seeds generate slight changes on your cat. To make cute snacks for your cats, you have to first grow ingredients, water your plant, and you get new stuff to combine in recipes. For two ingredients, you get one item. But you lost your recipe book on your way to your new cafe, so you'll have to remember by trial and error. Because you start with only one cat, you can find either a rare seed or a cat floating by your window occasionally to get new cats. So here's the planned gameplay loop. So your cat brings the seeds, and you plant and grow a garden that produces magical ingredients, which you mix together, and you mix and match them to figure out recipes, to make pastries, to customize your cat by experimenting with more magical ingredients. Yeah, but there's also some other customization you can do to your space, like filling your pastry display, etc. But the cats are really the centerpiece, and that's it for my part.
As you see, such a concept requires many artists. Thus, we split the work consciously between three of us. However, to keep the art direction solid, we start with the same base. So now Björn spots the light on his thoughts on the game.
Now you know how the game works. Or not. But you did learn a bit about the underlying thought processes. Now I'm going to tell you a bit more about our art direction. Now, whether you completely understood the concept or not, what you definitely did take away from it is that there are a lot of small things, tiny mechanics, small creatures, that all add up to a complete experience. Mirroring that in the art, we've started by gathering references that would not show details or portray visuals, but just emit feelings, create moods, just like a mood board. It's almost like we're starting out the same way as always. Yep, we definitely do. Sketching out things to inch closer towards the common art style. Check. Building a space around our main subjects. On it. I've started out by mapping out different large themed areas for the player to explore, then went ahead and decided on major items to place and focus on the eye catcher of the area. Afterwards, go into more detail, fill the scene with more life, more details, and explore more on top stuff. Since the game is not just a static diorama, though, we also need to think of how to diversify our actors from a technical standpoint. We do need to translate all those funky sketches to a living three-dimensional space, after all. So I made a quick schematic to decide on two base cats that each get their own rig, and how to add stuff on top of that to customize them. Looking at all that from a more technical standpoint, we are focusing on stylized, enlarged shapes, hand-painted 3D models with a focus on Unreal's strong lighting system to make the picture book style come to life as much as possible and to create a living diorama that makes exploring it as pleasing as growing your plants and collecting your cats in it.
For my part, I just begin my process with something easy and funny, like here awkward thumbnails of cats. Anyway, they are useless because later we distributed the work, so I'm developing interior items mostly. Initially, as you saw it on Alba's draft, we work with a sphere room space, which is quite tricky because in how many ball-like rooms you've been? 0? So yes, that's definitely a brainstorming to organize the place so everywhere is the cozy corner, though there are no corners in the round place. We've picked the middle-sized room, and here comes the Pinterest with all the boards and referencing for lighting, interior assets, cat furniture, cafe design in general. And, mixing up all these glossy pictures together, here's my hard paint concept. Of course, in some means, it's not the precise image of our game, it's rather my personal aesthetic of it, which will be changed multiple times in the future. We really look for something Animal Crossing-like. Today's are so stressful, so everyone seeks some peace, and games aren't an exception. Why our games should be. And now comes Patrick, and he covers the technical choice and the sound direction.
Hello everyone, I'm Patrick. I'm the programmer and audio supervisor on Space Cats. We are going with Unreal Engine 4.24.3, the current version of Unreal Engine, just because I'm the only programmer around at the project, so I want to go with the engine I'm most comfortable with to create game mechanics very fast, prototype them quickly so we can decide if they're actually fun or might even blow out the scope out of proportion so we can test them really quickly. We are also using GitHub as a source control. It's a very good tool just to share the project, share the code quickly between the members so everyone can test out the game on their own. As for audio, we decided to create a system that would complement the gameplay experience by reacting to the game's state. For example, once you collect more and more cats, the music would start to add more layers. Well, you start out with a very low-key kind of beat, and once you collect your first cat, your second cat, more and more instruments would be added to the mix. And while the player is changing its cats, you can imagine that, for example, with wings, the music would change its tempo, or if you change the body, the rhythm in the music would change, something like that, just so that the audio experience would complement the gameplay experience very well. Now, that is everything for programming and audio. Thank you.
Speaking about the project management, we will stick to the agile planning. I squeezed all the juice out of its manifesto, so we may adapt it easily. For instance, instead of covering big tasks we do a little every day, we have 3 steps for the iteration: discuss, develop, and test. Each iteration lasts no more than 3 days. During each of them, we break our priorities in small tasks. When we are done with it, we move to the next pack of backlog features. Here is easy like a piece of cake plan on which the green line shows the most likable and natural workflow for us. The golden rule says that we don't have big presentation deadlines, where are the finished iterations, so we have something to present at every stage of the project. Our main tools are Discord and TeamSpeak as the means of communication, and GitHub as the mean of the data distribution. And I guess that's it for now. Big thanks for your attention, and keep an eye on us, because we'll definitely come up with a cool game.